And we're back. Loki, Season 2, Episode 1 is now available on Disney+. Plus. It has audio description, and I've already seen a lot of people online reacting that are like, thank God, finally a good Marvel show. That's not really fair. We've had some good ones, haven't we? Really, you guys hate everything but Loki? Seriously? Um, yeah, so, it's back. And I don't know if Disney Plus knew it was back because it tried to make me watch Season 1, Episode 6 again. And I was like, no. What are you doing to me, Disney Plus? I actually have to go in now and, like, find the episode? Why am I not prepped? I watched Season 1, Episode 6. I watched The He Who Remains. I got that. We're done. By the way, I had spoilers in the title, so if you are not up to speed on Loki, first of all, I don't know why you were online watching recaps of episodes you haven't watched yet if you're not at least open to the idea of spoilers. It's a very weird thing to do. But secondly, yeah, I put it so I can talk about whatever I want. So, like that scene where Loki turned into a giant dragon and ate everybody. Now you're wondering whether or not that happened. Maybe it did. Maybe it didn't. You're going to have to watch the damn episode to find out. So, yeah. We pick up basically where we left off, where Loki is with a Mobius that doesn't recognize him, doesn't know who he is, and tries to capture him. And he's kind of like stuck and lost in time. And his body keeps like ripping in and out of different timelines. And he's trying to get back to the timeline he came from, where Mobius recognizes him and kind of remembers what's up. At least remembers that the timekeepers were a joke. And meanwhile, it seems like everything's collapsing and falling apart. So are they going to be able to stop it? How do they stop it? And all those questions are asked and answered in the first episode for the most part. Although I will say this episode had a weird ending to it, and I was like, that's the ending? Okay. All right, we are really leaving people up in the air about the answers to the questions for episode 2. Yeah, there seem to be some people working within the all these various agents that keep running around. Maybe some of them are not great. Maybe not everybody's on the same page. We got that kind of vibe too. We found a new character, Obi, who's working in the depths of the timekeeper's world, and he has things repaired to him. It's funny that he hasn't been visited in like 400 years by Mobius. So that was kind of a cute scene, and he had a lot to explain and seemed to understand a lot. He was a good little device to explain things to us. He was a nice little plot device to put one in there as a character. But most of this is just entertaining because Loki is just, he's having a rough day. He just keeps getting right between timelines. And as Mobius points out, it looks like he's being born and dying at the same time. It looks like he's something like that. It's like watching birth and death at the same time. So, because he keeps, when in the audio description we get a description about him being stretched, and I'm sure the visual effects on this look fantastic, and props to the team, even though I can't see them, but props to conceptually stretching Loki. I feel like that's probably not I feel like that's something that's probably hard to do and make it look not shitty. So, I'll just go ahead and give them props because I haven't seen people on the internet like laughing at the first episode so far. So we'll go with that. Yeah, this actually surprisingly I thought was going to move further more. But this episode is more about like trying to wake up other people to the bullshit of their world, and the fact that they all used to exist as people, and they've all been ripped and put into timekeepers, and they've been unnecessarily killing people, and now that they've met He Who Remains, they, you know, they're doing somebody else's bidding and not necessarily what they thought they were doing, and Mobius and Loki are pleading with the current leadership, some of which are really hesitant to believe them or get on their side, to just kind of take a pause and think about what it is that they are actually doing before they just resume pruning the timelines. So it's really nice to have this series back. Owen Wilson, it's probably one of the best things he's doing ever, is Mobius. It's one of the few things probably where fans are not angry at Owen Wilson. I feel like there's so many people out there who just randomly hate Owen Wilson. But then they love Loki, and they're just very conflicted. Like, their thoughts and their feelings are like, I don't like him, but he's really good in this. And, of course, Tom Hiddleston as Loki has come a long way. He's come a long way since we first met Loki. And he's feeling more and more like a hero every moment that he exists, and he has to make a choice. And he has to make, like, a selfless choice. And we see how much he's changed and evolved as his eyes are open to the ways of the world. And he makes a friend in Mobius. It's a buddy comedy. It's got that buddy cop film vibe between Mobius and Loki. You know, the one's the cop, the other's the criminal. Together, they're going to have to stop time from collapsing upon itself. So, it's nice to have the show back. Audio description wise, sure. The only question that I would have had negatively towards audio description would have been, I feel like we're just kind of told that he disappears when he's in the timeline. Meanwhile, Mobius's reaction to watching it is much more horrifying. He's like, you know, when he makes the comment about, like, it's like watching, it looks incredibly painful. It's like watching somebody being born and dying at the same time. Yeah. I feel like just telling me that somebody just disappears is not necessarily really, I didn't get that. I just kind of just thought he was like blipping out, you know, just like, boop, he's not there anymore. You know, I was just gone. If there's something horrifying happening to him, I didn't pick it up in the audio description. I picked it up when Owen Wilson was like, oh my God, I can't watch that. I was like, what's happening? What am I missing? What tell me. What does this look like? I have no idea. So we did just kind of get a generic sort of like, he disappears. I was like, okay, that feels very, that's nice. Yeah, safe. Apparently not. So now I'm wondering, I have some deep thoughts, and I can't sleep. I must know. I'm never going to be able to function until I know what it's like. Is Loki okay? Is he really being ripped apart every time he disappears and being reborn and then dying? Anyway, so I love Loki. I think it's a great episode, and I'm so happy to have this back. And this is a very easy grade for me, because like the rest of everybody who's super excited about this show, oh my God, we have the second season of one of these Marvel shows. Like, holy shit. Just sit back and think about that for a second. Something actually got a second season, because we keep having Marvel shows and we just keep going, all right, are we ever going to see a second season for any of these? Ever? And then lo and behold, Loki season 2 actually happened. It's not a gag. It's really here. So I'm sure it broke Disney Plus. They dropped Haunted Mansion like 2 days before. I'm sure Loki's already outperformed it. Just like blown past Haunted Mansion. So yeah, I'm gonna give Loki season 2, episode 1 an A. I would give it an A plus, but that ending was awkward. It just was. It's just a weird spot to end. I was so baffled that I actually was watching the credits. I was like, that can't be it. Is that it? Really? It felt very just sort of like, this is where we end. All right. That's maybe not where I would have ended, or I would have tried to make more of a, like an, oh shit, you should come back next week because, oh my god, you know, it just kind of ended, and I was like, oh, well, I guess that's a choice, but I'm so happy to have these guys back. So anyway, thanks for watching. Please click that subscribe button and click a like. The like helps the algorithm, brings more random people who have no idea I exist to me. And then the subscription, just, it warms my soul. And I want to talk to more people about audio description. And the wider reach I have, the more people get to hear what audio description is and realize that blind and visually impaired people watch films and television too. And we'd like to watch more of it if we had more audio description. So that's it for today. I'll be back next week with a review of the second episode. And until then, I'll see you on the other side of this current timeline that we're in. I don't know what I'm doing in an alternate timeline, but it's probably this. I'm sure it's this. So, see you then.